Greetings, party people, and welcome to the Secrets of a Witch podcast with yours truly, Sabrina Scott. And hopefully I sound a little bit less like a frog. I think I'm kind of getting better, I've been coughing up a lot of phlegm, and someone told me that is the sign that my body is clearing out, like, dead white blood cells or something. So maybe some of you guys are science people and can let me know if that is true. But anyway, welcome to the final episode for 2023 of the Secrets of a Witch podcast, episode 150. We did it. 150 episodes in a year. More than, I don't even remember how many listeners we've got. A lot. I think as of this recording, it's at 31.7 thousand downloads. So that's not so bad. Not so bad for a first year of the podcast. So thank you so much to everyone who has made this year awesome and listened to my rambling thoughts. And I guess I might as well do our little intro on the Secrets of a Witch podcast. Hello, I, Sabrina Scott, talk all about life, love, healing, spirituality, witchcraft, magic, tarot, feminine energy, mediumship, and everything in between. And for this special New Year's Eve edition of this podcast, I wanted to talk a little bit about an anonymous hate message I got and kind of parlay that into, I don't know, maybe something to leave in 2023. I just posted my ins and outs list for 2024. I love this meme that's been going around. It's like everyone is posting their ins and outs for 2024. And personally, what is out for me, there's a lot of things. Fear, carbonated water, ordering food, unless it's groceries. God, a lot of different things. Stiletto nails, I've decided, are out for 2024. What's in is sneakers, finishing my PhD, making coffee at home. What else? A few other things. You guys can go creep on Instagram if you're curious. And I really would love to know what your ins and outs list is for 2024. But anyway, this hate mail, let's just talk about it for a second. And don't worry, this is not just me rambling about something stupid. I'm going to parlay this into a takeaway, as I tend to do. So come with me on this journey. If you've seen my Instagram stories over the past few hours, you probably already have seen some of what I have to say about this, but it's really interesting. Over 2023, I released 3 guided journals. 2 of them are tarot related. One of them is magic related. And I saw this anonymous message to me, and someone titled the message Greed. And then their thing was lazy, it's just lines. And so I found this super interesting and funny, and I just want to talk about this. So I guess the first thing is that literally it's not just lines, it's a guided journal. Like, there's words and stuff to fill in. Second of all, I've posted all these like previews and videos and photos of what the interior of everything I make is. So there really isn't any surprises. And so if anyone is surprised, it's kind of their fault. And third of all, I find it so interesting, right? This idea, this person probably just wanted me to tell them what to do. You know, it makes me feel like maybe a book of rituals would have been a better fit for this person, which I don't know why they bought a journal, as opposed to a book of rituals. Like, I just found that choice a little bit confusing. But interestingly, like, they've kind of inspired me too, because actually I've got a book of rituals written. I just haven't published it yet because I haven't made the time to design it, but that's coming in 2024. So I do feel now inspired to add some lines after each ritual, so people can write in, how did the ritual go, underneath the description of what the hell to do. But I just find this prominent desire that I've encountered again and again, particularly in witchy spaces and particularly in spiritual spaces, but particularly the witchy brand of spiritual space. This desperation that a lot of people seem to have that annoys me to no end, actually, that people want to be told exactly what to do, word for word, step by step, do this, do that. And if you guys have been following my work for a long time, you'll probably know that I absolutely hate this. I really don't like it. I don't like that that's what a lot of people want. And maybe this is my bad for not just giving people what they want, which is to be told what to do. But I just find that so lame because I think it's way cooler when we experiment and have fun and take risks and get creative and explore and try new shit. And I think one of the things a lot of people forget about this magic stuff, about this spirituality stuff, is that the world is not going to explode and dissolve into a million pieces if you try something. It won't. Will you die? No. And yet what I see so often is this paralysis in people where they're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And obviously I've created a bunch of courses to remedy that. I've created my Magic Without Bullshit course, which gets really in depth. I've created my Tarot Without Bullshit course, which gets in depth tarot. And so I have created all these resources kind of telling people how to do shit. And so it still kind of like breaks my heart when people just want to be told what to do. And in a way, I find that to be, ironically, the ultimate laziness. You know what I mean? I think actually a guided journal or someone who doesn't give you all the step-by-step what to do, that actually is, I think, the better way to learn something because it forces you to use your brain, which is the only way that anyone can learn anything anyway, and to be creative, to think. It reminds me a little bit of when I was a university professor. I don't know if you guys know that this is a thing that I did from the ages of 25 to 29, so 4 years I was a professor, and I remember the last assignment that I gave for most of my classes was, and I designed the entire curriculum and blah, 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 but I wanted people to just do whatever the fuck they wanted. Like, give me an assignment that is what you want to do. And it's so interesting because that was the assignment that I always received the most pushback from my students. They're like, but what do you want me to do? And I'm like, I don't care. I want you to do what you want to do. I don't want you to pander to me. I want you to take this opportunity to unlock your own creativity and create something uniquely you without any bounds. And it's so interesting that assignment ended up being a lot of people's, at first, least favorite assignment. And the rejection of that assignment was huge at first. Of course, some students immediately got it, and they were like, okay, this is fucking sweet. Like, I get to paint whatever I want to paint. Hell yeah. And the projects from those students were always fucking amazing. Like, coolest shit ever. The students who were able to just give in to their creative impulses and jump into that freedom fully. 2 feet, just leap, like the Fool card, if you want to relate to tarot. And those students made amazing work. But there was a lot of students who didn't know what to do without being told specifically what to do. You know, like in an illustration class, which is what I used to teach, both theory and practice, the assignment confines are usually like, okay, like give me a 5x8 spot illustration that's going to be on the inside of a finance magazine about stock market crashes. Give me 3 sketches, full color. And it was very specific, right? It's like literally telling students what to do. Or like, here is an article. Give me 3 illustrations that could illustrate this article, right? So it's very bounded. And so a lot of them floundered when it came to, oh my God, what do I actually want to make when no one is looking? And yet that is such an important thing to be able to grapple with. Even if it's scary, like, oh my God, what if I secretly love making this type of art and that's not technically what we're doing in school, but like that's what I want to do, but the assignment has no confines. Can I do it? And like students grappling with that, like that is part of the work of art university, like design-based university. And so pushing students off that ledge, so to speak, was part of my job, as that's how I saw it anyway. And some of them could never take that leap, which was sad. But hopefully they did eventually. Like, I think sometimes it can take students a little while. So some late bloomers for sure. But that leap is so important. And I think it's a leap that a lot of people who are, let's say, spiritual seekers or witchy seekers don't want to take that leap. And so I think that's probably part of what was behind this person's hateful message to call me greedy, which is fine. People can say whatever the fuck they want. And like, it's inspired this episode. So I love the haters. They inspire me to say stuff. So that's cool. Keep it coming. But I find it interesting, right? Like this type of ideology or rhetoric that this person has taken on, which is that it is greedy, let's say, of me to create space for people to take the reins of their own creativity and their own life. And I think this person probably would have preferred a magic ritual journal where it's like ritual 1, day 1, ritual 1, do this. Day 2, ritual 2, do that. And like, will I make a book like that one day? Probably. Like, God knows I've got a million ideas. I've got like endless things I want to say and create. So yeah, I probably will make something like that one day. But was I very clear that that's not what this was? Yes. And I actually find that second type of book, like the, ritual 1, ritual 2, day 1, day 2, blah, 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 that is actually a way less useful kind of book, in my opinion, because it doesn't activate someone's actual fucking brain. If you're just following the recipes, if you're just regurgitating and just doing the actions of what someone else is telling you to do, there's no connection to your own actual spirituality. There's no connection to you slowing down and really reflecting and being like, what counts as a ritual? Can I write my morning coffee ritual as a ritual in this ritual book? Yes, you can actually. But I'm sure a lot of people probably won't think to do that. It blows my mind sometimes how many people in the witchy community just want to be given rituals, just want the answers to be given to them. When it's way more fun and like lasts longer when we come up with the answers ourselves. And maybe this is just because, I have those years of teaching experience. First of all, at the university, I've got part of my master's is actually a diploma in education. So this is also coming from that place, and sometimes giving students what they want is not the best thing to do from a pedagogical point of view. Like, does everyone just want the answer key? Yeah. But part of the point of it all is not giving it to them. And I just think that attitude, right? The attitude of like, please just give me the answers is a really dead end way of looking at things. And I really just want to discourage that in everybody in all areas of life. Like, part of the whole point of learning is the grappling. And part of the whole point of life is to make our own mistakes, pave our own path, create something that's 100% unique to us. And I think life is best lived, too, in that way. You can follow someone else's exact step-by-step life lessons or whatever, and it might not work for you. It might not. Like, God knows, I read a lot of, like, giant smart person, here's my takeaways type of books in personal development and psychology and business and all of that. So I spend a lot of time reading a lot of, like, here are my life takeaways type of books. But that has to be translated into us and filtered through us, rather than just taken verbatim of like, okay, I'm just going to copy literally what this person does step by step. When in reality, everyone's different. And one wish that I have for all of us for 2024 is that we all collectively stop waiting to be told what to do. Because that is just an epidemic, I think. of this paralysis, this action paralysis, decision paralysis, where people just want to be told what to do. And therapy is not about that. Coaching is not about that. Tarot is kind of about that, actually. Like, I feel like tarot is really the only space where I'm working with people where I say, this is probably what you should do. You can choose not to, but this is what I would advise. That's kind of what tarot is all about, figuring out what the best next steps are. But I think it's so crucial that we learn how to just fucking trust ourselves and experiment and play and try stuff, rather than waiting for that instruction manual, waiting to be given the recipe, waiting for the book of rituals, step by step to come out. When in reality, the way more fun thing is to challenge yourself to come up with your own fucking rituals. Right? I think life is like that too. Everything is really that in its own way. And so I think as well, if I can analyze this just briefly, when people wait to be told what to do, there's kind of a desire in them to be parented, right? There's this desire to be a child again, to have the parent taking care of all the hard stuff, to have the parent fill in all the answers, to have the parent come in and provide the roadmap, right? And I think this desire for childhood, basically, is why so many people get pulled into cults or abusive relationships or religious cults, political cults, high demand groups, whatever you want to call it. I think that's why a lot of people get pulled into social justice, woke stuff, which right now I think has gone a little bit off the deep end in a lot of ways. Don't hate me for those of y'all who are super left, like that's cool. But you do have to admit that there is a very high demand group totalitarian aspect to a lot of stuff going on right now. And so I think it is really interesting, right? Like, what is it about this moment that has a lot of people attracted to that authoritarian way of being? I think it's the same thing that makes somebody want a ritual journal that tells people exactly what the fuck to do. This desire for the answers, this desire to be a child and have all the answers provided for you. And there's an avoidance of adulthood, having to figure all that shit out for ourselves, unfortunately. And trust me, I would love to go back to childhood, and I would love to have a healthy family and healthy parents who just told me what to do and gave me the best guidance and pat me on the head and set me up for success. That'd be great. But that is not the world that we're in. We're in this world where we all have to take the reins, even when, and especially when, we don't want to take the reins. And I think that is really when we are the most in touch with our own power and our own possibility and our own potential. So if I have one wish for all of us for 2024, it is that we are able to be courageous and step into that side of ourselves, hopefully, despite any fear. I'm not going to say fearlessly, because I think we all have fear, even those of us who maybe are perceived to be without it. It's just, what do we do when we are met with that fear? Do we choose to take the hard and correct path? Or do we try to opt for the easy path? The person or the thing or the group that will tell us what to do step by step, rather than using our own brain and our own critical thinking skills and our own creativity to figure out a unique to us and perfect for us kind of solution. So that's the episode, my friends. Happy fucking New Year. I was going to talk a lot about New Year's resolutions and blah, 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 but I guess I'll just do that when we actually move into the new year. It's one of my favorite parts of the year, honestly, is New Year's resolutions and plans and resolutions and lists. I love it. As a Virgo rising, I guess that kind of makes sense. Anyway, if you guys are out partying, or if you are like me, staying home, cleaning, sick, and doing laundry, I'm going to be changing my bed sheets, cleaning the house, doing all the stuff, and then making some lists of resolutions and goals for 2024. That's how I'm going to be ringing in the new year. just sending you guys some love, good vibes, and much gratitude for coming with me on this journey throughout this year and beyond. Happy New Year, friends. Bye.